clear there. All right, good afternoon, everybody. Happy Friday. Been waiting for a long time here, waiting for my main man Sebastian. Is going to be a great day here. We're going to end a great week. Next week, we will be having, hopefully, Marcus Lemonis, maybe Kris Jenner, trying to get back Aaron Judge, and we're still trying to track down Doc Gooden. Sebastian from Chicago, the greatest comedian alive. He is funny, and this guy's unbelievable. I don't know if he's a better golfer or comedian. He's the greatest comedian, but then he takes me to the golf course a few weeks ago in Reverance, taking my money, and the guy's making birdies, and I'm like, hey, when do you have time for all this stuff? I had my whole video group with me, but after a while I told him, shut the cameras down, this guy's embarrassing me too much. So I see Sebastian's up. When we see him, we will pop him in from Chicago. I'm going to ask him about his favorite pizza, what team he grew up watching. Invite me. There he is. He said invite me right here. There he is. I'll be too long.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, baby.
bro. Product
Oh, look
placement.
at this. Look at this.
Product placement.
I love it. Hey, wait a minute. Do you have the base set up, or is that something that you have?
No, this is all me. I got my glass.
Hey, by the way, Sebastian, cheers. Let me do a little cheers to you. Here you go. Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing because it is Friday night. This is how we do it in the hood when I grew up. You know what I mean? We just had to make up a party. We were broke. There you go.
Well, cheers. Thanks for having me on. So what's happening? What's
serious question, man. I see that house behind you. You have great taste. It had to be your wife. It couldn't be you.
No. I know nothing about style or interior design. That's all my wife. I just provide the jokes, and she provides me with a nice, comfortable place to live.
Hey, you grew up in Chicago. Mm-hmm. Did you grow up watching sports? Tell me some of your sports heroes when you were growing up.
So I grew up on the Northwest Side. I should be a Cubs fan, but I'm a White Sox fan. So I grew up in the area of the 80s where it was Ron Kittle and Carlton Fisk on the Sox. And I was a huge Bulls fan. I didn't play baseball as a kid. I'm sorry. I was more of a soccer guy.
Yeah,
but
that's kind of cool. Soccer's a cool sport.
Oh, I had a beautiful mullet. Beautiful. So, and football and basketball were my two main sports. But
were the '85 Bears a big team for you? Like Singleton and McMahon, that was a wild crew. Refrigerator.
Yeah, I think we could have won 6 in a row, but for whatever the reason, they split up the team, and the team went south after the '85 season. But that's like the heyday of Chicago sports. And then in the '90s, the Jordan Bulls. I got spoiled. I stopped watching basketball after Jordan left.
Oh my God, he was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he played a home game in his entire career. I think Jerry Reinsdorf was saying something like, I don't think he played a home game that was not sold out. I mean, it was always the most epic event ever. Much like Magic over with the Lakers, with the Celtics era,
When was your first Jordan meeting? When did you first meet him? Do you remember?
I met Mike. Yeah. I met Michael when I was probably in the 95, 96. He came up to Seattle, and they had a card game, and they invited me. And man, I was so excited. I remember walking in after the game, And you know when you can eat like a whole like meal. I was like famished. And the minute I saw him, like my stomach froze and I was no longer hungry. I was like, oh my God, there's Michael. And at that time, it wasn't like social media. We didn't have that type of access. So it was like you're seeing a Messiah. And he was just so cool to me. He was so nice. And from that moment on, he always treated me like a little brother. He's unbelievable.
Wow. I came across Michael Jordan once at Milos, which is a Greek restaurant in New York City. And he walked out. And, you know, again, this is a guy that I grew up watching. And I literally froze. And as he passed the table, I gave him a little thumbs up. That's all I could do. I'm the best basketball player ever. And I'm like, hey, man. And he just walked by. But, it's funny now. I'm 46 years old, and I'm trying to do sports or trying to play sports that fit my age.
Yeah. What's that, Soul Cycle?
Pickleball.
Pickleball. By the way, pickleball's fun. It's fun.
I love pickleball. So, that's where I'm at.
It's like half-court basketball. It's just, it's much better. Hey, let me ask you, talking about Chicago, I mean, you're talking about a great, great city. Growing up in Chicago, like, what kind of neighborhood did you grow up? Because Chicago's kind of the whole gamut, right? And what were some of your, like, favorite restaurants? Once you can afford the nice restaurants, where were you able to go? Because I love Chicago, especially in the summertime.
Oh, it's great. My father's still in Chicago, and I grew up in the northwest suburbs, so I didn't really grow up in the city. But going back and visiting Chicago, I like Chicago Cut Steakhouse. Juliana Resnick has some great restaurants there of the RPM brand, the seafood and the Italian I like to go to. I love Portillo's. I love Lou Malnati's. So Chicago's a huge, Jay's Beef, Johnny's Beef. Really enjoy going back there and visiting. All my friends I'm still really tight with, about 4 or 5 guys I went to college with, and they all live in Chicago. I tend to keep a tight crew of the people I grew up with. You meet friends along the way in your 20s, your 30s, and your 40s, but the guys that I call on a daily basis all live back in Chicago.
So how you got a great wife, Lana. She always works out. You have 2 kiddos. What are you guys doing to stay in shape and just, stay sane in this crazy time?
Yeah, it's, I'm not very social, and I saw your Instagram with you and your wife talking about, like, who's the social one in the relationship, and it seems to be like you're Mr. Social, and you're more like a little puppy dog, and maybe she's like a cat. I kind of relate to your wife in the sense that I'm not really the life of the party or like, let's go out with so-and-so. I'm more of a homebody. But being home, as long as I've been, 21 days, I'm dying to get out of here.
Hey, Sebastian, I've checked out your Netflix. I mean, by the way, I've watched it like 5 times. Jennifer's like, again, Sebastian? You bring this guy to bed with us every night. Can we mix it up? I said, when I see you, it reminds me so much of when we went to Boston. I saw the reaction. People love you in the East Coast. They love you everywhere. But I saw your preparation. I saw where you try to train and stay a routine and eat well. Because it's just like us. Going on the road, man, can be brutal. But, I mean, can you believe a kid from Chicago I usually go and we have 25 players. And we play against 25. But it's you alone in front of 20,000 people going crazy. Did you ever think that a kid from Chicago that came from little is now so big and fortunate?
I dreamt big. I wanted to follow my dreams. My dream was basically, when I came out to Los Angeles in 1998, was to do stand-up comedy for a living. I never thought it would kind of take me to the Madison Square Gardens and the United Centers of the world. My plan was never to do arenas, but it just so happened that that's kind of where it took me. But I'm very, very lucky and blessed to have the career that I've had. But it's also come with a ton of hard work. I mean, this didn't happen overnight for me. It wasn't always, Presidente talking to A-Rod. It was, I did every oh, there she is. Wow, look at those earrings.
Sebastian said he's more like.
Sebastian.
What's going on?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You like my earrings?
I do. I love a big hoop.
I love a hoop. Very New York. Very.
He says he's more like you, a little bit more antisocial than I'm the social
Oh,
butterfly.
yeah. Oh, no, this one is always surrounded by a circus over here. You know that.
So and the cameras in the bay.
And the cameras and everything.
Hey, Sebastian, did he see us over there when I had the Hulk's production and everything?
He brought a 5-man camera crew to a golf course.
No.
It wasn't. It was the Tiger Woods event. He thought it was the A-Rod charity event.
He said, "Wait a minute, all these people with you? I couldn't get my cousin, and they almost arrested him in the parking lot."
That's my boy.
Oh man,
that's my
funny.
Boy. How are you doing? How are you holding up?
I'm good. You know, I've had a little bit of cabin fever. I'm not going to lie. You know, you don't know how appreciative you are of just going to get a cup of coffee or going to out to dinner or meeting friends, and now you're sequestered to your house. And it's, you know, it's a change, definitely. We're trying to keep the kids entertained. I got 2 small kids, so we're doing a lot of arts and crafts and a lot of walks. I'm walking more than a senior citizen. I mean, it's like, okay, 4:30, we go on our walk in the neighborhood, so it's fun. What are you guys doing? What are you going? I saw you guys were playing a little baseball in the yard. What's going on?
A little baseball, a little catch, a little hitting sometimes. You know, same with you. Trying to keep the kids entertained. They're like, I'm bored, and they just like lay on your bed, and you're like, yeah. I remember having that feeling anyway when I was a kid. This is like nothing new, but yeah, just enjoying having a little bit of time. Now, you know, you travel a lot for your work. We travel a lot for our work. So just having the time at home, just trying to make, you know, a better situation out of a bad time for everybody, and enjoy the blessings that we have.
Hey, Sebastian, anytime I feel like I'm low on energy, self-esteem is down, I tell Jennifer and the girls, let's go outside and play some wiffle ball. And I just beat them up. I hit the fun thing. It's the only thing I can win at. One thing.
Hey.
I'm 0 for 99.
Let me say hi to some people here. They're talking to us.
Yeah, who's there?
Hi, Tyler. Jessica. We love you too, Miss Carrie. Sebastian, they love you. Spiritual somebody.
He's huge. He's huge.
Hey, A-Rod, do you notice how the viewership skyrocketed when J-Lo entered the screen?
Did it really?
Yes, it did. I think we tripled.
I love you guys. Johanna, Chris, you guys got to talk to everybody who's tuning in. This is how we stay connected. We miss you guys. I miss you guys.
Abby
I
Garcia.
love you guys. Looking good. I don't know who they're talking to.
I can't wait. I was telling him I can't wait to watch him at one of the shows.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
He's going out to the big arenas.
I'm going to take him to one of your shows one of these days. It's like, he has like 2 bucket lists. It's like you and, not the bar. Who is it?
Make sure you make me look cool.
Coldplay.
Oh, okay. I'm in good company.
Those are his 2. You're in good company. Anyway, good to see you.
And Sebastian,
Bye,
Take care.
don't forget that you and Lana coming to the wedding. I'm just going to get you for 5 more minutes here. Because, thank you, baby. It just went down 60%. Our attendance just went down 60%. Hey, let's see here. Just a few questions from the fans here. Well, I have one more too. Do you ever get nervous in front of all those people?
Listen, not so much nervous, but I had an experience on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon where I went out to do stand-up comedy, and a minute into my act, I forgot everything. I just went blank. It was 10 seconds of silence. And I don't know what happened to me. It never happened to me before, but I could not remember the next joke. I was stumbling. I felt like it was the end of my career. And when I went to go talk to Jimmy Fallon after that, during the commercial break, I said, I'm so sorry, bro. I don't know what happened. He goes, don't worry about it. We'll edit it out. No one's going to see it. But leading up to that, I was very distracted with people backstage. I had my wife, my mother, my mother-in-law, my managers, my agents, and I let myself get kind of wrapped up in hosting everybody and not taking care of what I needed to take care of. So I learned a big lesson, and ever since then, I'm very kind of like in my own head, in my own dressing room. Nobody really bothers me. And but to answer your question, really not nervous at all. It's more of an excitement and anxiety. But once I get on stage, I don't even feel anything. I just hear the laughter.
And you still enjoying it? You loving it?
I do love it, and this quarantine has made me appreciate it even more, because sometimes when I go out there, I'm like, I got to get on a plane, I got to go to Atlanta, or I got to go here, I got to go there. And once it's stripped away from you, I think I'll re-enter this after this experience saying, you know what, you don't know how good you got it until they rip it away from you. And I definitely have a better appreciation, not only for my personal, my professional career, but my personal life as well. I mean, spending time with my kids like this is like gold.
Yeah. Emily wants to know, if you were not a comedian, what will you be?
I'd be a general manager of a luxury hotel. Hospitality has always been my forte. I've always been really hospitable, even when people come.
Can I say hi?
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. She was watching, and now she feels.
I put my
left out.
hoops on.
How are
got
you?
hoops
How you
too.
doing?
Oh no.
I'm like, he's either gonna kill me or be
You're
nice.
doing. How you doing?
We're good. We're good. We're having fun. I had a
Good.
Presidente last night. I haven't had a beer in 10 years, and it was delicious.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The Presidente
Cheers.
put her back on the map.
Cheers. All right.
All right now.
But yeah, I'd be general manager of I used to work at the Four Seasons Hotel in Beverly Hills from 1998 to 2005 in the Windows Lounge as a waiter. So I really kind of, actually I waited on J-Lo. I forgot to tell her when
No
she came.
way. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I waited on J-Lo.
I hope she tipped well.
I don't think she paid.
Okay, good. Good.
So yeah, I'm really familiar with hospitality, so I think I'd be a GM of a hotel.
Stephanie wants to know, what's the best advice you can give a youngster that wants to be a comedian to get over that hurdle?
So there's no magic formula to do this. The only thing I did, and I'm speaking from my own experience, was I was adamant about getting on stage multiple times a night, no matter where it was. I didn't get into this for the money. I got into it solely because I love making people laugh. I love entertaining people. So what I did was every night I would scope out what rooms were having comedy and who was doing comedy, and then I would go and sit there and wait. Even when I was not even on the schedule at the Comedy Store, I would still go to the Comedy Store hoping somebody would call out sick so I could then get their spot. So it was a lot of working it out on stage, just trial and error. You know, with anything, it's like repetition. You know, the more you do it, the more familiar you become with it. And then you have to have a lot of patience. You know, some people hit, they do, 5 years and they do hit, but with stand-up comedy, to be really, really good at it, it takes a good 15 years to really kind of solidify yourself on stage. So if you're getting into this,
who were some of the people that you came up watching, that you studied over the years?
I was introduced to comedy as a young kid. I used to watch Johnny Carson with my father when I was 6, 7 years old. I used to really love when the comedian would come on Johnny Carson and do 6, 7 minutes. And I was just in awe of, like, man, how do they remember this? How do they make it sound like it's the first time they're telling this story? So I didn't have cable, so I used to go to my cousin's house on Saturday mornings, and he used to tape all the comedians for me. So I used to watch like the Dangerfields and the Night at the Improv, all that stuff. I just consumed it at a young age and always knew I wanted to do it. I just didn't know when, where, or how. I mean, my mother was a secretary. My father was a hairstylist. We didn't have any connections to the entertainment world. So I moved out here in 1998, and it took a while, but knock on wood, everything's kind of working out.
You know, the power of comedy, and especially in times that are difficult. Some of the greatest teammates I've had in the championship year, we laughed more than any team I ever played in 25 years. It's the greatest medicine in the world. And I'm telling you, like, we would be rolling over. And when you create that type of laughter, people that are happy, you spend more money, you dance better, you're happier, you play better, you win more. And I think it's really one of the great superpowers to have. And it's amazing. You know, one of the classes that they teach at Stanford Business School is a levity class. And what they basically teach there is that when you make people laugh, you make them relax, they trust you more, they negotiate better, and they're just friendlier. So it's just incredible. I mean, everybody should be watching you right now, your Netflix and everything you put out there, because we need the world right now to smile and to know that this will pass and we'll be better and stronger. And I do think that America is going to come back stronger and better and more disciplined and more grateful. And I just want to say thank you, my brother. Obviously, much love for you, and love the way you go about it. And thank you for shining some light on some of the followers that are listening to us.
No, absolutely. I appreciate you having me on, and I do think we're going to come out of this. I know sometimes it might look bleak and they're not an end in sight or whatnot, and you turn on the news and they keep counting the death toll and this, that, and the other thing. Believe me, we're going to look back at this and go, wow, during that pandemic, I learned A, B, and C, and it made me a better person. So keep doing what you're doing, brother. I appreciate you having me on here. The Presidente beer is tremendous. Go out, get yourself a 12-pack for the weekend. And I have one question before I leave.
What do you got, baby? Anything.
Me and my buddy Pete, who have a podcast called the Pete and Sebastian Show, he wanted to know who would be able to get the Pope on the phone sooner, you or J-Lo?
Yeah. By the way, that's such an easy one. Not me. I'll tell you that. Not me. but here's the real answer. I would say, hello, this is A-Rod. I'm calling on behalf of J-Lo. Can I find the Pope? We'll be right with you.
All right,
brother.
man. It was nice talking to you. Take care.
All right, my brother. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
I mean, there you have it. As good as it gets. I'm telling you, every time I'm feeling a little down or kind of lost a little bit, you just pop him in on Netflix. And I've watched it 10 times, and it's like the 11th time, you know, Jen looks at me, the kids look at me, and I'm laughing like I heard it for the first time. And they're just going to give me looks. But, you know, I'm biased. I love Sebastian. He's awesome and a great guy, and great wife, and Lana and their kids, just great people. This is a great week. Next week, we're going to have, I'm hoping we have maybe Kris Jenner, maybe we have Aaron Judge. Who else? Maybe Doc. We're still trying to find Doc. Doc's still trying to find Wi-Fi. Doc, we're going to help you. And maybe Aaron Judge, we're trying to find him. I hope you guys are enjoying this. We're just trying to pop in here for 15, 20 minutes each day. And, you know, it's a reminder of, you know, to be healthy, to be grateful, to enjoy the great gifts. I mean, this has been a great time to be around the kids and not travel as much and be centered. And I'm just feeling very grateful and appreciative for my family and for health. I think, again, when we come out of this, we're gonna be better for this. And hang in there, stay strong, have a great weekend. Have a Presidente. He's coming to your town soon. Sebastian, thank you. Gary V, Daryl Strawberry, all our great guests this weekend. We'll have another great week next week. We will see you on Monday. See ya.